Hey guys, so my friends told me that I should do a 21 question video for you guys. So I decided to have some of my friends come up with some questions for me for my video, and then at the end you guys can actually comment some of your own questions at the bottom, and I will do my best to answer all of them. Please keep them clean because other people do read the comments and I'm not going to answer anything too dirty down there. But here we go. So I'd have to say my favorite movie is still most definitely The Lion King. It's been one of my favorite movies ever since I was a kid. I think it was the first movie that I actually got to go and see in theater with my families. And I mean, the songs in that movie are amazing. I still jam out to them in my car all the time. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, you'll definitely see me playing that song and jamming out to it on my way to work or wherever else I'm going for the day. Favorite singer is most definitely Carrie Underwood. I will forever choose Carrie Underwood. Ever since American Idol, I've always been a huge fan of her, and if there was anyone on earth that I could do a duet with or hang out with for a day, it would most definitely be her. Favorite YouTuber. So there's a lot of YouTubers out there that I follow, but I will say the first one that I've ever really started following and kind of inspired me to start my second YouTube channel back up was Connor Franta. I think a lot of just who he is just kind of who I like to be and who I would like to be. Maybe have a friend like him, just because there's things that he says and does that I don't think I'd be comfortable doing, but I would love to have a friend like that would love to do stuff like that. Because sometimes I'm kind of shy and I'm not always as outgoing and willing to try new things unless I've got a friend that's dragging me along, and then I kind of do get pulled into those things and I actually end up having a lot of fun. So I think Connor would definitely be someone that I would want to meet and hang out with for a day. Favorite animals. So a lot of you may not know, but my mom is actually Cherokee Indian, and so when we are younger, we are actually supposed to have a spirit animal, and mine was actually chosen. It was the mountain lion or the cougar or the puma. So that's gonna have to be my favorite animal. Favorite social media. So because this is a YouTube video, I'm probably going to have to say YouTube. Between YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, those are usually the three that I use the most. Snapchat as well is pretty frequent lately, but I've kind of fallen into Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube recently. Favorite food. So my favorite food is most definitely Italian food. Anything Italian I will eat. Actually, when I was little, I actually used to make my own concoctions and mix different spices and create different sauces and get my family to try it. I actually created quite a few that I really like, and I still have the recipes up in here. So if you guys want them, you have to be nice, and I might give them to you. Maybe I'll start my own cookbook, kind of like Hannah Hart. Favorite date. So my favorite date is probably very simple compared to a lot of people's, but I actually started talking to this one guy on Grindr, and I was actually pretty amazed when he sent me a picture of himself, just because he was so gorgeous, and I figured he was fake just because there's no way someone that gorgeous was actually in this town where I live. And it ended up that he wasn't from here, he was just visiting a friend, but we talked for a really long time that night and ended up meeting for coffee the next day. I was actually late for work just because once I got there and started talking to him, I never wanted to stop. It was just so amazing to be on a date with someone that I could relate to on so many levels, and I couldn't stop looking at him. I was probably really awkward just because I do have a staring problem, especially when I'm sitting across from someone so gorgeous. But that was definitely my favorite date, and sadly he's not from around here. He's down in Florida, which would be really nice if I could move down there, but I think I'm headed towards LA, so that ended up not working out. But hey, it was amazing while it lasted. How many siblings do I have? So I have 2 sisters, but my dad got remarried, so now I have 4 stepsisters and 1 stepbrother. They're all older than me, and he married again after I was already away in college, so I'm not really close to them, but I am super close to my original 2 sisters. So a place I'd like to visit, a place I would really love to visit is Europe in general. I would love to take a summer off and just tour the entire continent of Europe. I know there's some places that aren't so safe, but I would visit all the places like Paris, Greece. I mean, there's just so many places that I want to visit over there. And since I went to school for architecture, I've always really loved old buildings, and Europe is just so full of them. So I would most definitely like to go over there and visit all of those different places. My favorite hobby. So other than YouTubing, I really enjoy being outdoors. I love hiking and camping and just anything outside I love to do. So that would probably be my favorite hobby, is just being outdoors and doing stuff outside. How many pets do I have? Technically, I have one that belongs to me, a cat named Whiskers. He was in one of my videos. I don't know if any of you guys have met him, but yeah, he's a little bit chunky, but I love him. My sister's got 2 Dalmatians, a cat, and a horse that also live here where I'm currently staying. So I kind of consider those my pets, but they're more my sister's than mine. And Whiskers is kind of the only pet I allow to sleep next to me. I'm kind of allergic to cats, but it's hard not to live with a pet. They do so many funny things and they just instantly make you feel better. So even though I'm allergic, I keep them around just because they make me feel so happy. What book am I currently reading? So I'm actually reading this book, Children of Eden. It's actually by a YouTuber, Joey Graceffa. If none of you guys have read this yet, you should definitely check it out. It's pretty amazing. I've only gotten to chapter 5 so far. I started it today, but it's an amazing book, and I read his first book that he wrote about himself, and that's actually when I fell in love with him, just because his YouTube videos, at first I watched them and I was kind of annoyed by him, but after reading his story and finding out about how many things he had to go through in life, and he's still able to be that goofy, silly Joey that everyone knows and loves, I kind of started to fall for him, and now I enjoy watching his videos just because I know he had a really hard childhood and he overcome it and he's living the dreams. My favorite vacation is probably when I go to the beach with my family. I haven't really done it in a while. My family, I believe, sold the beach house just because we haven't been to it in a while. But just being with family, there not being any stresses of work or anything like that. And at our beach house, we kind of don't have a TV or stuff like that. So when it comes to the beach house, you kind of are just cut off from all of social media and media in general. Favorite memory. So favorite memory is probably my trip to Puerto Rico, where I got to go because I was 16th in the company with Best Buy, and I got to go with all the other achievers from Best Buy for the year of 2014. It's actually 2015 when we got to go, just because all the numbers had to be added up. But being around so many happy, positive people, and I actually met some really cool people. This guy named Harrison from LA, who is actually from Mississippi originally, but moved to LA to be a model, and he actually didn't really work for Best Buy that long, but he was actually #1 in the entire company. So I got to meet him and spend the week with him. Dream job. I would love to be a motivational speaker. I would love to work for a foundation that helps people, especially the youth, going through coming out and all the struggles that they deal with growing up being gay. And if I could somehow land a job that I got to do that every single day, I would probably be on cloud 9. Kind of why I started my YouTube video, just because it's a way I can reach thousands of people and give some people someone to look up to and someone to talk to if they need it. So yeah, if any of you guys know a job that kind of lines up with those, please let me know, because I would love to take it, especially if it's in LA and I can take it soon, because I'm moving there soon and I really, really, really need a job. So yeah. Favorite thing to drink. So I think a lot of people would probably go for an alcoholic drink, but myself, I don't really drink a lot, so I don't really have any favorite alcohol drinks. I guess a bottle of wine would be okay. I prefer white wine over red wine, but I would say my favorite drink is probably the Blue Mountain Dew. It was Blue Pepsi, but they kind of discontinued that, but I love the Blue Mountain Dew just as much. So yeah. Favorite place that I've lived. So I'd say my favorite place that I've ever lived is most definitely Florida. I can't think of anywhere else that I've lived that I've liked more than that. Just because there's palm trees and seagulls, and I think because my vacation is always going to the beach, living in Florida where there's palm trees and seagulls, I just feel like I'm on vacation all the time. And even after a long day at work, just stepping outside and feeling the warmth and smelling the salt in the air, I was just super happy and I loved living there. It sucked when I had to move away. Favorite color? Blue. That was an easy one. Introvert or extrovert? So I would consider myself somewhere in the middle. I am definitely more of an introvert than I am an extrovert, just because when it comes to being around people, I get extremely drained from being around people, mainly because I feel like I have to entertain everyone that I'm around. So I'm a lot happier when I'm in a group of smaller people and or around one person or just my family, just my boyfriend if I had one. But yeah, definitely an introvert. Country or city? So that's a hard one. So I definitely enjoy living in the country where it's peaceful and quiet and you can see the stars and there's beautiful mountains to hike in. But I feel like the type of person that I am, I feel like I always need to be doing something, and living in the country and far away from any city, it's kind of hard to find places that are always hopping and always going. So I would probably say right now, I'm most definitely a city person. I would prefer to live in a city where things are always happening, to where when I'm hungry at 3 in the morning, that there's a place to go other than driving 45 minutes to the nearest Walmart. I would like to have a restaurant 2 blocks away that I can just go to and grab food really quick. Oh, this is a bad question. Who's my best friend? I know they did this on purpose, but I would have to say that I've gone through lots of best friends. I feel like I obtain a best friend everywhere that I've lived, and I've lived in a lot of different places. So right now where I'm living in Virginia, I would say I've probably got a few people that I would consider best friends. People that I am able to open up to and be close to. And I feel like I don't have to hide anything about myself around them. And those friends would probably be, of course, Meg. She's my most recent friend that I've made when I moved here to Lynchburg for my new job. Before that, it was probably Shelly and Shelby. I loved them to death. They were the people that, no matter what, I knew that I could count on, and we always had really awesome adventures. Nico and Taylor, those are actually 2 people that I probably couldn't live without. I'm so glad that they came into my life when they did. And then there are several friends before them that I just couldn't live without, and it's great that I'm able to stay in contact with so many people. But that's the 21 questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box below. I will try my best to answer all of them when they pop up in my newsfeed. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.